Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Dr. Alexandra. This is going to be our first vlog style video. So let me know in the comments what you think about this style. I've gone in the past on our channel being very scientific and a bit more medical. I do obviously bring in my own experience because I have a lot of experience treating women with hormones and aesthetics. But in this one, I wanted to kind of go a little bit more personal, a little bit more vlog style. And what we're going to be talking about today is my experience starting MacroTracking, or what I would call a pro-metabolic diet. So first of all, if you like the content that we're putting out, and if you're watching our videos and really liking them, give us a thumbs up and shoot us a comment in the comment section below, because it really just helps us to get our videos out there to more women, which is really the goal. The goal is just to help more women. And so I think this topic is going to be a big one. If you want more information on the topic that we're going to talk about, I did actually do a couple videos with Kelly, who's the person that actually has helped me navigate this world, and we did them earlier on, so we'll link a couple of those. So what do I mean by macro-tracking? First of all, right, macro-tracking is this idea of getting your body to calorie balance. It is basically a puzzle, and you get a certain amount of carbs, fat, and protein, and obviously that will change over time. And in my case, it was a way to reverse diet me to eat more calories. That sounds ridiculous, right? When I first started to macro-track, what caused me to start macro-tracking was actually that my partner, my husband, but also my business partner, did a podcast with Kelly on why women aren't losing weight. And I could not lose weight to save my existence. And I was the picture perfect person of every single woman that comes in my office. I was doing mostly the right things, right? Would I say I'm perfect? No, but I don't expect my patients to be perfect either. But I was doing enough that I shouldn't have been struggling as much as I was. And we would go stronger on our diet piece. We would really tidy things up. And I would literally gain 10 pounds just to lose 10 pounds and be net zero. And sometimes if I really pissed my body off, I would gain 10 pounds just to lose 5 pounds and be up 5, which is terrible. And all well, my husband also doing the same thing with me, would just magically lose 15 pounds and keep them off. Great. So it was frustrating, super frustrating. And I listened to what he talked about with Kelly, and I was terrified. And I was terrified because it is this idea that a lot of women are under eating, or at least significantly throughout the week they're under eating and they're restricting themselves. And then because the body can't maintain that, you'll binge, I'm gonna call it, but it's not really a binge, but you'll increase your calories pretty significantly on the weekend and then go back to that like really strict, rigid eating in the week. And the idea of adding more calories to lose weight was just terrifying and weird and kind of went against everything I ever learned in medicine, right? In medicine, as doctors, what they teach us is calorie balance, calories in, calories out. And if a patient is having a hard time losing weight, it just means that they're either not getting out enough calories or they're getting in too many calories, and that's the only equation that we can end up with. What we actually know is that, the way I explain this to my patients is it's basically about metabolic safety. The body is designed to keep you alive, and it will do everything in its power to do that. Which means that if we create unsafe environments for the body to have a healthy metabolism, it won't. What's the first thing that goes if you have an unhealthy metabolism? Generally, it's your thyroid, because the thyroid is the powerhouse of metabolism, and your body goes, nope, dial that down, dial it down, right? And so I was starting to see that. We've done a lot of videos on thyroid in the past, but I was starting to see that my reverse T3 was really high, so I was converting to reverse T3. I wasn't converting to free T3 quite as much, because my body, although my CNS was okay, my TSH was actually rising a little bit, it was more at a cellular level. The body was just saying, nope, we can't do this. Other changes that I see in women will be changes in testosterone and changes in things like progesterone, because your body is going to be having a hard time making those sex hormones, because if you don't give it enough of the nutrients that it needs, enough of the backbone that it needs, like the structure that it needs, things like cholesterol, protein, things like that, you just won't make those hormones very well. So I started with Kelly. When I started with Kelly, I was probably consistently eating like 11 to 1200 calories a day. And then on the weekend, it was probably a little bit more, but it wasn't crazy. And she slowly reverse dieted me. The biggest change for me was the addition of protein. And I remember starting with Kelly and getting a few months in, and she got my protein up to like 110 grams. And I actually emailed her and I said, Kelly, this is atrocious. I can't eat this much protein. Like, this is ridiculous. And she emailed me back and she said, Dr. Alex, you are my lowest woman on protein right now. Suck it up and increase your protein. And I thought, wow, I'm her lowest. Okay, I gotta do this. And I will say now, if my protein is lower, I feel like crap. So what other changes have I seen? Well, as I slowly started to reverse my calories, my weight just started to shift downward. We created a point where the body was safe enough to actually start to lose weight, and where I wasn't worried that I was going to starve it every other day. And so I noticed that. I noticed that my workouts were better, because one of the things that Kelly told me is that I was not allowed to train fasted anymore, which was my go-to, because I just wasn't eating enough calories to train fasted. So I changed that in my workouts, and I noticed that I was stronger. I noticed my endurance was better, and I noticed that I was recovering a lot better from my workouts. And then since then, lab-wise, right, my thyroid has improved dramatically. My hormone production has improved dramatically. And I'm just not finding that I need to focus on those things as much at this point, because things are better. And I talk to my women a lot about this. So I have a lot of women in my office where I will share my story with them. And I share it with them because they're as scared as I was to start it. And oftentimes, if they trust me and if they're willing to do it, right, because it is really about measuring your food. You have to measure out what you eat so you get your grams of carbs, fat, and protein. You have to keep it consistent every day so the body goes, I know what she's going to give me and I'm okay with it, right? Like, I know what I'm going to get. So there's less of that fluctuation, less of that like scarcity. And most women are just, they're scared, but if they trust me enough to do it, they experience what I experienced, where their body just kind of gives away some of the things it's been holding on to, and where we see a major improvement in hormones. Actually, Kelly and I share another patient. She had a baby through IVF a few years ago and was looking to do another IVF. And so she went back to her fertility doctor the last few months, and her fertility doctor said, your hormones are the best we've ever seen them. And a lot of that is MacroTracking. She's really, really consistent with MacroTracking, and we've been really working on my end to get her hormone production to be normal. And so there's a lot that you can do, but you cannot out-train and you cannot out-hormone not giving your body enough nutrients. It just won't work. And oftentimes, if you're that person that's under eating and then over exercising, or you feel like you add in a little bit like too many calories and then punish yourself with some running, that's also going to be the exact same thing, because you're just creating a level of like unsafety for the body. And we want to get that metabolic balance, that metabolic safety. So I wanted to just kind of share my experience. If you want more information on actually what it looks like to reverse diet and what it looks like to macro track, you can go back to our previous videos with Kelly and give a listen to those. And then put in the comments below what you really want to learn about, because we can have her back on, and she is what I consider a metabolism guru. And we can have her back on to answer those questions. So put your questions in the comments below and let us know what you thought about this kind of more vlog style video. We'll see you next week for next week's video.